Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Well, good evening and welcome to my Mountain Bears. Mountain Metals. Yeah, that sounds cute for me. Of course, I'm Aeson, and of course, with me tonight in the co-host seat in the cave is the lovely techy-ish. How you doing, darling?
Oh, a little tired. We did a lot of running today.
We did do a lot. Well, you done a lot of running. I done a lot of sleeping.
You did. You did.
Yes. You ran into something different with our insurance company. This is the first time I think this has happened.
Well, yeah, this was a fun one. And it's kind of hilarious yet sad at the same time. So, ran into the experience of you needed a prescription today.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very simple little prescription. Should not be that hard. We dropped it off at our pharmacy. Really just expected to like go back in an hour or so and pick it up. Funny thing, the pharmacy only carries the generic. Our insurance requires the name brand.
Mm-hmm.
That apparently no one carries.
Right. Well, they don't carry it because it's expensive as hell. Actually,
no. Here's the irony. The cost for the generic was $200.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the quick back of envelope math, the name brand was $203.49.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Brenda. So, yeah, I got to call like literally as many pharmacies as I could because we didn't immediately find this out until it was getting close to too late. Because our pharmacy is like, yeah, we can order that. It'll be here on Wait, that's a holiday. Tuesday.
And it's like, no, we cannot wait for that order.
No, not especially when you have to go back to the doctor to evaluate how this did on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was not going to go well.
Right.
I kind of had to giggle at it. It was like, this is the most insane, ridiculous thing ever.
I know, but we're seeing a lot of that here. You know, we've normally got the inverse of that because there's another medicine I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance won't cover it, but there's a discount med that will cover it. For like, we get it for like $17 instead of the $2,300 it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even, like, why?
Exactly.
I just want to know why. Is the insurance company intentionally doing this to keep you from getting the med or to force you to pay out of pocket? Because there was a brief moment, my first reaction is fine. How much is the generic out of pocket?
Exactly.
And then they went $200. And I went, no, we're going to make insurance pay for this.
Right.
Like, oh no, I will drive anywhere in the like 5-state area around West Virginia.
Yeah.
At this point.
By 9 p.m. By 9 p.m.
Hey, as long as I could have gotten it in by 9 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
I would have gladly picked it up first thing in the morning and called it close enough.
Right.
But you better believe I'd be knocking down their door first thing on a Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Lady Gwendolyn. How are you? Okay, guys, I'm going to ask you to do the YouTube social media things. Please make sure to like it, hit the button, make a smiley face, make a heart. Yeah,
notify
and then spread it, please, because this is what I've discovered. Facebook algorithm hates me. I literally posted an article on my public Facebook Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. It's yet to get a view, a like, or a comment, and I truly stated there, please make sure to like, share, and make sure to like this, and comments, I think it is seen below.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one saw it.
Nobody saw it. No one, and like the video, I'm gonna start just putting the videos over on YouTube and making posts everywhere about them, because the algorithm just isn't showing it to you guys. So it's like, fine, I will put it to where I know you can find it. Well,
speaking of other resources on Facebook, we do have Mountaineer Pagan Nexus. It is a group. And we have also updated the website. So if you tried or you have used the former version of Mountaineer Pagan Nexus, the website, go check it out again. We made it better. You just have to hit join community in the menu bar at the top of the screen. And that'll take you right to it. The Mountaineer Pagan Nexus website is going to become a directory of cool community resources, from clergy to businesses, and I forget the third one. It starts with a C. Covens.
Yes.
So yeah, there is that, and we already have a bunch of users that have moved over, and we want to thank them. We really, really appreciate them. Right. And like Brenda's like, I'm loving it.
Well, not only that, but there is no algorithm. There's nobody programming for you not to see something. And here's the thing. It has been proven that if it is pagan, gay, poly, that the algorithm will suppress it.
Yeah.
Or occult. It gets suppressed there again, too. So, guys, please, go check us out on YouTube. Subscribe there. Go over to Pagan Nexus. Subscribe there, because that's where you're going to be getting a lot more stuff from me at. And it's not that you're getting a lot more stuff from me. It's that you're getting the same stuff from me. But
you actually get to see it.
You actually get to see it.
Yeah, it really is a lot easier than it has been, and everyone is seeing everything. So,
right.
And we haven't run into any major issues. Just a few minor, tiny things that unfortunately we can't change that could be better. That we're going to hope get better, like asking a question on the site, which is an actual feature to pose a question. That seems to only be about the length of a tweet. Right. That's the maximum length of a question you can ask. So we're a little about that one, but otherwise, actual problems, we haven't run into any.
Right, and you can use the app. It's a great little social media thing. But now we can do real Nexus streams over there. We can do a lot of more things over there. If we get the community support, I'm even looking at opening courses over there.
So hi, Shannon's.
Hi, Shannon. But that will be a little bit.
Yeah. Although I will say for myself on Facebook, I seem to only exist when I injure myself. And I post a photo of it. So Meanwhile, for those of you keeping track, if I showed you on Tuesday, this is where we're at now. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm nice and Technicolor. So, yeah. Oh, and yeah, that was the other thing, is we actually go live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like really friggin' cool because you post the YouTube link and it actually goes live when we do.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, and Zoom was easy to tie into it. Yeah.
There's a lot of integration that's easy to do. It's got a messenger. It's got a big chat room. It's, and I'm just going to throw this out. Lady Gwendolyn has been doing an astrology discussion on Facebook. You can easily go in there and hit the Pagan Nexus big chat and do it.
Mm-hmm. And definitely looking for ideas for the different groups. If you want to add one, Shannon can tell you how easy that went. Because day one, she was like, I want to create a group that does this. And I went, okay. Hold on. Click, 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 click. And I created that from my phone.
Right.
With less than a cup of coffee in my system. I was quite impressed.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Oh, and Emily's excited too. Yay. Hi, Emily.
Hello, Miss Emily. How are you? How is your quarantining going?
Oh, yeah. How's the mini Mott? I want to call him the mini tank now. I can't help it. So, yeah. Less than 1 cup of coffee. I know, right? Like, I was still doing my morning wake up, like, okay, what's going on in the world?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hi, okay, cool. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm. And those that have other podcasts, you can go ahead and post them over there. If you do YouTube videos, post them over there. It is your network. It is not our direct link to things. That's what our Patreon is for. Is our direct link to everybody.
Oh, yeah. But it is a place for community resources. Like, it is pagan-centric.
Yes.
Like, so if you're pagan-owned and operated and you're not traditionally something that's off the, like immediately recognizable as pagan, you're welcome. Go post in the marketplace. We want to support you.
Yep.
If you are pagan affiliated, as in you are, a store that sells crystals and herbs and incense and, all the cool accoutrement, post your business. And actually, we would love for you to submit a directory listing for the Mountaineer Pagan Nexus website. That way we can link you up even more. Same thing for Covenant Clergies. There's a nice, simple little form there. Drop it in. I don't think we've had anywhere near the problems we had on the forums, except for the events. The events were the sticking point. I've gotten everyone's forms that have submitted, I believe, for the directory. I don't know what the heck was creating so many issues with the events, but the events was just cranky.
Well, that's because it was using a different system. The system sucks.
Yeah.
So that's why you now can list your events directly on the Nexus.
Yes. And it goes up well and even will automatically add to calendar. Like you can say you're going to go and then there's a little link to add it to your calendar. I was like, oh, thank you. So yeah, that's one of my nerd outs. I dearly love the ability to just hit a link and throw it on my calendar, please.
Right.
Love. Yes, Pagan Pride is already up. I've Arood, Howl of the Wolf. The theme for this year is Pagan Pride. Love it. Yep. But yeah, so we're still just a few days away from actually seeing what the logo will be.
Yes. That will be interesting because there's some good ones this year.
Absolutely. So yeah, awesomeness, awesomeness. And hi, Melissa.
Yes, hello, Melissa. How are you, darling?
Oh! Sorry, I'll howl again.
Try it
Stop it.
again. You sound like an ogre.
Oh!
Oh!
Don't make the dog start.
I know. Oh, but
Anyway.
no, I actually may steal that for a posting, Melissa.
Oh, Melissa's over there going work, 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 work.
Hey, that's my theme song.
No, your theme song is "You Better Work."
You better work. So we are having fun a little bit tonight, but there are some serious things we're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll first go to, I don't know. The ACLU is now suing Justice and his bigoted bullshit. His, I don't know, one student. Really? One student for your bigoted ban? Well, we've got one. You know, she's not only a cheerleader, now she wants to run cross country.
Mm-hmm.
With this new bill, she can't be a cheerleader and she can't run cross country.
Yes. This absolutely sucks. And yeah. Becky's a cute kid. Like, this is the perfect kid to be the poster child for why your legislation sucks.
Right.
But hey, you have fun with that because cute kid.
Yeah.
Cute kid.
Enjoy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy sports. This all goes towards college, towards everything else. So it's great to see the ACLU stepping in there and going, we ain't playing this game. We told you we'd sue you.
Well, the ACLU and a few others.
Yes, Freedom West.
Like, they've been slammed. Like, yeah. I think Morrissey's going to be a little busy defending the state for a while.
Well, maybe he can use this little slush fund to pay for some assistance.
Oh, let's hope.
Yeah, because I also want them to try to recover damages. I don't believe they're asking for damages, but they should recover damages.
Oh, you know it's going to be expensive for the state no matter how it slices. Like, and it's stupid legislation. It should have never existed.
Right.
Oh, good grief. Sorry, things I hate.
I know. Well, you know, and we actually, you know, I think I posted this link in the chat at the first thing in the beginning. Of course, the ACLU is doing everything they can to protect your rights because it's not only this state's rights. There has been installed 21 bills of discrimination.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then there's also the fact that, you know, this is our first recent run with, like, stupid things done to schools in West Virginia. Can we bring up the Bible in the Schools program from Mercer County?
Right.
Like, that was so blatant on its face, as is this. Yeah. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it.
Well, it's like they keep trying to bring through the bathroom bill, and the Supreme Court already said that's illegal.
Mm-hmm. But no, these are things that I don't get. Why? Why are we doing this? Right. It's stupid.
Right. It's stupid. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. These kids have it hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why make it more difficult?
And knowing you are not going to win this. You cannot possibly win this.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for this. You never could prove there was a reason to do this. Like, here's your poster child of why you have to do this. Like, you couldn't present one. You couldn't present one flipping case.
Right. Where this was an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, what's even worse is with all the science around it talks about the and it's so gray. It's not a black and white issue. It's so gray of gender and the biochemistry around it and the sorting out of it. So it'll be interesting how these people eat this state up.
Yeah, and for anyone who needs a quick refresher, there are 6 common biological sexes. Hate to break your 2 bubble, but there are 6. And that covers X, which is roughly 1 in 2,000 to 1 in 5,000 people. XX is the most common form of female. XXY, roughly 1 in 500 to 1 in 1,000 people. XY, most common form of male. XYY, roughly 1 out of 1,000 people. And XXXY, roughly 1 in 18,000 to 1 in 50,000 births.
Right.
High. Percentage-wise. Just think, percentage-wise. In an average high school, you are going to run into at least one person who's biosex. Just simple blood work biosex. Is not 1 in 2.
Right.
It is not binary.
Right.
Their sex is not binary. Let alone identity. But we want to keep sitting here and saying that this is all about, there's only 2. No, there isn't.
No. There hasn't ever just been 2. But this also, it's kind of stupid because West Virginia has the largest population of trans in the United States. There are more trans people in West Virginia than anywhere else in the country.
And there we go. I was just curious, what else is 1 in 500? Let's see. I'm just curious. Oh, come on. Okay, so more likely you would be audited by the IRS because that's 1 in every 220 individual taxpayers. Let's see.
You're more likely to be born with 11 fingers. The odds 1 in 500.
Yeah, I was looking for another literal 1 in 500.
Yeah, you're more likely to be born with 11 fingers. 1 in 500.
Well, yeah, but I was looking for either something this is more common than, which is,
you're more likely to fall to your death. 1 in 119.
Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not having any direct luck with the article I chose. Okay. All right, so anyway. But yes, and that's per capita, yes. We do have the majority in the US. You are more likely in the state to be trans.
Right.
Than any other state.
Right.
So, yeah. Falling to your death comment, not what Joe wanted to know. No! Not after last weekend. No!
Oh, please. I'll get you out in the woods so fewly.
I know, but every time you do, it feels like you make me drive to a place that is, I am being driven to the middle of nowhere to be left for dead.
Well,
all I ask is if you're
refuse
gonna
to let me drive. I asked you if you wanted me to drive. I asked you if you wanted me to drive out of there. Both times. No, I haven't. He falls. I asked him, do you want to drive? Do you want me to drive, honey? No. Okay. Honey, we're going into the woods. Do you want me to drive? Because I'm used to driving haulers. No, I haven't. So fine, I will gladly take my lovely perch in the wife's seat, set my purse on the side bag, and wait for you to ask for directions.
Hey, I was doing good.
Uh-huh.
I did good.
Yeah, I thought you were going to take the oil pan out a few times, but that's okay.
Hey, I made it up in one go.
I know, you done well, you done well. A little slow for my taste, but okay.
Hey, slow and steady.
But anyhow. So we have that running along. I'm glad to see that they're actually doing that. You've got a tech issue. It's in your box.
I did. I was seeing that. So, yeah. Oh, Russian hackers. Dang it. It is, yeah. Apparently, these are emails that look like they came from USAID. Contain links, loaded malware onto systems. Yeah. But yeah, allowed intruders to slip in the computer networks of a roster of human rights groups and think tanks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I hate this crap. I'm really I really, really hate it. And ultimately, it's clicking links in emails. Is fundamentally where the problem comes from. We've had a long-term problem with that. That if you're going to links in unsolicited emails, or if you're getting emails that point you to click somewhere to get something or to do something. Same thing's happening on cell phones now. I know my phone, since I last reloaded, has been getting bombarded with like my Netflix account is going to be shut off. I have a package that's going to be delivered. We've attempted to deliver your package. We have done, like, it's one thing after another, trying to solicit a click. That's in the small form, is trying to find a quick, simple message in text that you can send to get someone to click. And those are, and my phone was going to be shut off because I was getting too much spam. Talk about irony. The spam message is threatening to shut off my phone for getting too much spam. Like, that's a circle.
It's a big circle.
Crazy. And,
but anyhow, Microsoft is digging into this. Apparently, they know more. So they discovered the breach this week, believing that it begins with hackers breaking into email marketing companies called Constant Contact. Ooh, the one that charges $149 a month to send you emails. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you're at the level in which you need a service that's that good. I'm just saying, not always, but at the same time, it's kind of the fundamental problem that we run into. Is it's kind of hard to exist in a world without links.
Right.
It's also fundamental IT 101 at this point to tell people, don't click links.
Right.
Like, be safe, don't click links. Don't download anything. Don't go to websites that you don't know. Don't do it. I don't care if your friend sent it to you. I don't care if your boss sent it to you. I don't care if it looks like it's from your boss. That's standard corporate IT messaging. And it's not wrong.
Right.
It's not wrong. The problem is it's kind of like, well, that's great and all, but how the hell?
Uh-huh.
Because, I mean, even clients I used to have would do a secure mail system that would in turn turn everything they tried to send us into an email with a link that you had to go to the link to enter in, some arbitrary information, to access. And it's like, it's a little hard in some industries.
It is.
To sit there and make a blanket statement like, don't click links.
Right.
And actually be able to adhere to that. Meanwhile, we have a lot of companies that ding employees for doing exactly that.
Right.
Like, you can fail a cybersecurity compliance test. And basically, for a lot of companies anymore, that now turns into, we're going to set you through a stupid class or an online training to tell you again, don't do that. And it's like, but depending upon what your job is,
right.
Like, sadly, sadly,
right.
It's a mess. Like, and hackers / phishing attacks are getting worse. Which, by the way, like, the whole scam industry has gotten worse in so much as they've gotten better. Like, this is like a very long form, like, we've been working since the 90s to get better at this. It's no longer your Nigerian prince who needs you to blah, blah, blah. Receive funds for them and send them a check. Now this is literally everything from, online dating sites and long convoluted stories that ultimately end up with, I'm going to send you a check and I need you to forward part of the check, but not all of the check. Yada, 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 yada. I mean, it's all over the place. It's the midnight granny scam where they call, a list of what are effectively little old people. And say they're from the police department, the sheriff's department, something, the prison, and their grandchild has been arrested, and you need to make payment immediately, or they're going to spend the night in jail.
Right.
That'll get a lot of people to open a checkbook. Because if you have a grandchild that either you can't imagine ever getting into trouble,
right?
It's going to shock you. But of course you don't want them spending the night in jail.
Right.
If you can avoid it. It's just ridiculous.
It's very ridiculous. It's very
and when you talk about these things, here's the part that always gets me. When we sit and talk about them, it all sounds like, this should click off real quick and easy for you. This is a scam. It doesn't happen in 5 seconds. There's a lot of buildup to this.
Right.
Or the situation is such, you're calling someone at 2:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
To run this scam. You are not, you're literally, the caller's age or the call recipient's age before you even dial them. You know that you're calling them at 2:00 in the morning. For a fair number of people, percentage-wise, you call their grandmother at 2:00 in the morning, I will guarantee some things. She is asleep. She is very asleep. And isn't going to be thinking straight.
No.
Mostly because the nighttime meds.
Right.
For any number of medical conditions.
Right.
Have a drowsiness side effect. And they're like, 6 of one, half a dozen of other, take it at bedtime. It'll knock you right on out.
Exactly.
So the phone rings at 2:00 in the morning.
All right. So Brenda sent us in a story, and I want to talk about it in a minute. So, Virginia teacher placed on leave after speech displaying biological boys can be girls and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested that the board adopted a policy accepting pronouns and chosen names. It's policy 8040 that the teacher was refusing to follow. So he was placed on leave of absence. The policy seems good and standard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad for the school. I just hate the message.
Yeah.
If I'm understanding correctly. But yeah, this is just.
Yeah, the board isn't playing games here. It's like, no, you're going to follow this. Start treating people right.
Yeah. And it's not a hard request.
Mm-hmm.
Really isn't. Now, I can understand. I can understand. It can be a bit of a mental issue.
Right.
When you know someone before,
mm-hmm.
and you are trying to mentally make the changes in
right.
your head.
Right.
There are some moments there.
Mm-hmm.
And I more so run into it when after someone transitions,
mm-hmm.
and I'm talking about pre-transition.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I always mentally have to be very, very careful what I say and how I say it.
Right. Well,
because mentally,
mm-hmm.
For instance, roommate in college.
Mm-hmm.
In that time period, I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
In this time period, I know her.
Right.
I'm fine to some degree or without any problem now.
Mm-hmm.
Forward. You know what I mean? From the, okay, you have transitioned. Your pronouns are now, she, her.
Right.
I get that. The problem I sometimes have is if I'm talking about her before transition, before that was even a thought,
mm-hmm.
and I get into a story, I end up with two separate people in my head.
Right.
And I start having pronoun issues.
Right.
Because I remember an event and the story of the event that I've probably told 50 times or 100 times or 1,000 times got stored
mm-hmm.
with he, him.
Right.
I that's where I struggle.
Right. Well, for me and where I struggle is there are he's that I call she's. And the reason I call them she's and is they feel she. The energy she, and I'm like, sorry, dude. I do it all the time. It aggravates the hell out of me. I'm getting better at it. But what I find interesting is his statement. And his statement is ridiculous. And here is why. This is my first problem with this statement. Mm-hmm. I'm a teacher, but I serve God first. Then go teach at a religious school. Don't go and teach at a state-funded school.
Yeah. I don't know.
Separation of church and state.
I know, but there is this unfortunate belief within at least Christian community in which, and I'm not saying it necessarily applies here, but that there is a need for people of the Christian faith to enter, spaces in which they can spread the word,
mm-hmm.
in which they can use any position they have to evangelize.
Mm-hmm.
you keep repeatedly entering situations in which you're not there in the spirit of Christianity.
Right.
You're there solely to make a point.
Right.
Like, that's like, be careful. Like, for anyone watching who's in that category, like, be careful. There's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in case anyone's watching that's there, that needs the message. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on one part of it is, the kind of overwhelming belief, and just going from my own past, one of the few things my father ever said that ring true, was, if someone has to tell you they're a Christian, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, technically that's not something you should have to tell people, because you have a great big giant instruction manual that told you to have compassion towards others, and to take care of them, and to help them, and to be good to them.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow you misread that and misinterpreted that, and maybe your pastor informed you that that's not what we do. We go out and save souls. That's different.
Right.
Like, if you're going to intentionally insert yourself into situations and condemn the sinners,
Mm-hmm.
no.
No. And this is what I tell my students all the time. Your action speaks louder than your words.
Mm-hmm.
Let them figure out you're a witch before you have to tell them. And I really wish other religions would take that on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I've heard of a story. I'm just now reading part of it. You didn't get this, but I think this is probably the coolest. This is what I've been saying for ages now. So a large group of a small hedge fund of environmental climate change protectors,
yes,
went and bought Exxon.
Well, enough shares
to get a seat on the board. This is ultimate 1960s takeover.
Well,
done modernly.
Well, it's not quite a takeover. It's enough to get them on a seat on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, they are going to be able to at least influence, to some degree, Exxon's position.
Right.
Or at least make the environmental case.
Right.
With an audience that is unfortunately going to be forced to listen to them.
Exactly.
Despite their contrary opinions.
Well, but the contrary opinions can be very steering for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very steering for the company. This is the way I think it's ingenious. I think this is the way we need to start doing this. We want Coca-Cola to cut down their plastic uses, fine. Buy Coca-Cola, set on their board, vote on their packaging. We want, Duke Energy to straighten their crap up, or AEP to go more solar, fine. Let's buy their stocks. Let's set on their board. Let's vote our proxy. Let's put directors that share our beliefs in the positions they need to be. We are seeing this more and more. First it was GameStop. Now it's ExxonMobil. Who next? Maybe it will be Coca-Cola.
Oh, I would love to see it happen towards insurance companies.
Yeah.
Personally. I would love for some insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies to face the same fate.
Right.
To have a patient's, like, for instance, with those two, a literal, like, a patient advocacy group.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to walk in there and be like, okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about today is those price increases or those denials of claims for life-saving treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go through them one by one.
Right.
And, like, name, shame, and blame.
Right. And this is what I've been talking about: taking and buying small stocks,
Mm-hmm.
buying, investing $30 in Procter and Gamble,
I wonder how
investing
much of
$40 in Pfizer.
I wonder how much of that ended up being inspired with the Wall Street Bets GameStop purchase. Like, I was wondering if there's an interconnection there. Pardon?
I wanted to see how ExxonMobil is doing.
Ooh.
How's their share price for today?
I can't say could have gone well for them. Hi, Ashley.
Actually, it's doing pretty well. They're only down 19 cents on a down day of the Dow, so not bad, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad.
But it'd be nice to see them taking a more environmental friendly approach.
Yep. It'd be nice to see. Okay, let's go with Blue Cross Blue Shield, one of the biggest medical places out there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that I personally want to take on Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Well, they're the insurance company that's owned them is Athena, and their share is at $398.02 a share.
Yeah.
So
those stocks do well.
Yes, they do.
But then again, that's kind of easy to do when your company keeps focusing on increasing shareholder wealth versus, maximizing benefits to either customers or through insured. So, yeah. Like, that's just... This was all a bad idea.
Right. Like, however, Pfizer is 38.73. They're up 8% today. Looks like it'd be a good investment. Stop.
Depending upon how many shares one would need to purchase.
Yep. All right.
Like, that's the problem with a lot of the lower price big name companies is that they've diluted their stock down so much that there really isn't a good, clear, idea of how many, or well, there is, but the number of shares you would need to purchase to have a voice is enormous. So he's stepping out for just a minute. And but yeah, no, that's where I'm at with the problem in this situation is that this is kind of a game for stock investors, for companies, of making sure that they always have a majority and that there is never really a chance, or the cost of entry to perform a maneuver like has happened with Exxon is next to impossible. That between price share and the price per share and the number of shares one would need.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. You don't need a large percentage to be on the board. 2%, 4%. Most companies 8%. But I'm quite sure they didn't just all go buy that today.
Right.
They piece by piece by piece. And they pay about 1.2 to 1.4% dividend, so you can then turn around and reinvest that dividend.
Although, just as a side note, I do have an insurance stock in a little tiny bit. But honestly, the cost to buy more stock it is kind of a barrier there. And the number of shares are so diluted. to get that 1 or 2% would be a very massive financial undertaking.
Right.
It's not something that most people could pull off on their own or even in a decent sized group.
Right.
Like, it would be a lot of stock buy. Just saying. It really, truly would.
Well, it's $60, and I think they've got normally 10,000 shares. So, yeah, that's, 3 houses sells, and you can have a board on Aeson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But, yeah, it's pieces, taking small pieces, taking small steps.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can afford dropping $60 a month for a year.
Well, not everyone.
No.
Most people.
Yeah.
But we do have to remember there's a large number of people that are struggling at the outer bounds of functioning. Like, that's our other life problem right now.
Right.
In terms of the world, especially the U.S., with our screwed up idea of what a living wage is versus a minimum wage.
Right.
It can be a struggle.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the day. Oh, and I think maybe that day's here, and it's unfortunately taken a pandemic to get us there.
Right.
To jolt people back into the reality of there is no workplace worth killing yourself to be at.
Right.
That this is not. Because right now, in terms of post-pandemic employment, right now, companies already think it's bad enough they can't hire. There's also a possibility of massive turnover.
Right.
For everyone who has been working at these companies through a pandemic, as they start moving back to, in-person office, in-person work, as well as just the stress that these employees have been under while working, that a lot of people are ready to hit the exit.
Right.
So,
and a lot of people, here's an easy one we could take on. Visor. Now, Visor is the one that makes the EpiPens for $600 a shot. $15.24.
Well, that was Mylon.
They were bought out.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Gotta love the shell game. Oh, and you do have a question. And hello, Joy.
Sure. Let's take a look at it.
All right.
Let's rock it.
All right. So Joy, 123096, was wondering if you felt her conceiving anytime soon.
Well, let's take a look and see where we got popped up here. Okay, Joy? All right, this is actually fairly good. Okay, Joy, so the happy connection in the home is a good balance. We have the Four of Wands here showing that you've got the happy home. Everything's together. When we look at conception, I feel like you've got to cut your stress down, start working more in positive what you have, how you're building things, so that it's a happy environment, but I would say it's probably within 10 weeks. Okay, Joy?
All right. So there we go.
There we go. That's really good. All right. So, I like doing those readings. So what's next on our attack list?
Oh, did we actually get through the attack list?
I don't think we have.
Oh, well, there's Judge Amy Berman Jackson. Yeah. Oh, so
this is someone we need on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, so trial level federal judge Amy Berman Jackson has handled some of the most, and this is from CNN, The most politically significant court cases of the Trump era and its aftermath, and become one of the most incisive voices on the corruption and political spin of the era. Always known for her sharp criticism. Yeah. So, yeah, you'd take it away.
Yeah, so she's literally like laying it down from the bench, giving commentary on Barr, the Capitol riots. Former president himself isn't typically coming from the D.C. District Court, where several judges have made headlines in recent years for harshly calling out on Trump's administration and the criminal actors connected to Trump. But Jackson has handled more than most of the high-profile cases, perhaps in any other district in Washington. She still oversees historical important cases. Jackson has noted the culture of lie repetitively. If people do not have the facts, Democrats do not work, she said in 2019 to Manfield co-defendants and former Trump campaign officer Rick Gates, after the pair had hidden their lucrative lobbying business on behalf of the Ukraine. The same year, she told former Trump campaign chairman Manafort, "What were you doing was lying to the members of Congress and the American public." Taking on lying, Jackson has well known in recent years for preparing long renditions that even probe courtroom check-ins. At times, those speeches were given within her hours during Trump's misinformation. She called Stone embracing of lying a threat to the foundation of democracy. Now she's on to the Capitol riots, which apparently our Senate is scared to take on. First, she barred Stone from posting images of her on Instagram with crosshairs behind her head. She barred him from social media, and the Justice Department launched a threat investigation, resulting in no charges. Later, Stone sentenced. Jackson faced a tweet from Trump about what she should be doing, as well as about the jurors who agreed to convict Stone. She hit back with a juror harassment by bringing surprise witnesses into the case proceedings, testifying about Stone's jury integrity. Setting the tone, March Jackson has been on the bench for a decade. Before her appointment by President Barack Obama, she worked as a line prosecutor and then a defense attorney, gaining exposure to high-profile cases in the courtroom. She's not taking bars, but she sure is making notice. I think if we need a Supreme Court justice, I have my pick.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that is really, really good. I love that they're hitting back. And hitting back hard. All right, so AMC is selling short. They defaulted on $1.2 billion blow after a week-long stock rally. Yeah.
AMC theaters?
Yes.
Yeah. Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. That's
I wonder if movie theaters will be going away like vaudeville did.
Oh, no. Other direction. Okay, so AMC was being short sold. As in, they thought the company was failing. They have basically the stock rallied. This is the same thing that happened with GameStop. Not exactly, but the same. Oops.
Right.
Market said you're going to fail, and you actually did the opposite.
All right.
So, yay.
Very much yay. But at the same time, I'm questioning if movie theaters are a way of the past.
Well, that's been a long-term question. In terms of as in with streaming services, a lot of theaters have seen a major drop in the number of in their audiences.
Right.
It's kind of been at least the last decade that we've been kind of having that conversation of whether or not theaters are, going the way of the dodo. Will it one day extinct itself?
Right.
Some of that has had to do with streaming services and the ability to sit comfortably in your home and watch a movie.
Right.
Some of that also has to do with the fact that prices for tickets and popcorn and drinks have kind of skyrocketed.
Yeah.
It's no longer a cheap night out. It's no longer cheap family entertainment.
Right.
You are potentially looking at a pretty serious amount of money. And a lot of theaters are kind of dinged for the fact that it's sort of the same experience you had 10 years ago and 20 years ago and
right.
30 years ago and 40 years ago and 50 years ago. And not a lot has changed. Like, Dolby surround sound and like 3D IMAX, stadium seating really only do so much.
Exactly. I think they're going to have to change the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because here's facts. We can choose to go to a movie, or we can choose to go to the steakhouse, or the really nice Japanese restaurant, and come home and watch a movie.
And that's just in the couple genre.
Right.
Again, trying to take a family out to a theater.
Right.
That's a big undertaking now. Like, mom, dad, couple of kids.
Right.
That's a fair chunk of money.
That's a lot of chunk of money.
Yeah. Especially when you have kids and they want candy and they want popcorn and they want sodas and no, they can't share. They can never share.
Right.
I still have never understood, other than cost savings,
right,
why any parent has ever thought that they were going to have a fun time at the theater with kids sharing anything.
Right.
Just as a theory. Though Brenda brings up the point, drive-in options are still out there. They've held on, and they've become a little bit of a nostalgia. As well as it's actually a really nice way to see a movie.
It is.
I mean, no, you're not going to get, super surround sound. But in a lot of cases, it's a lot more comfortable than the theater.
Well, and now the new modern ones is a little bit more interesting because you actually tune into the radio. So if you got a good stereo system, i.e. our soul, we can get movie style quality in our soul.
I'm curious if Pipestem has gone that way, because that's the one I know the best. Like, that's my experience of drive-in theater. I didn't know that. I grew up with it there. I thought every one had been to one. I did not know that was a super special thing that most people didn't experience.
Right.
It was kind of a moment for me to learn that one.
Right.
So yeah, it was a moment. But yeah, I was just curious. They have a Facebook page. It looks like they haven't started their spring yet. I'm assuming, because their last update was October of last year. Which is probably about right, but I thought their spring would already have started. Because I'm trying to remember. I thought it was May. But yeah, so Brenda points out they've had a concert at ours. Plague got them to branch out to offer other things that people were missing. Oh, very cool. But yeah, no, it looks like Pipestem is not open yet.
Right.
And I'm looking to see. There's the about. Well, that is not a lot of about. Alrighty. But granted, they also run a flea market through the Pipestem one as well. But no, it was always a really cool experience. They had a concession stand. I think they still do, but I think it was closed temporarily during, COVID.
Right.
I'm just trying to remember though, because I know it was a really good concession stand, and the food was like price-wise was not bad.
Right.
Like, I mean, comparatively, like you don't get nachos at most theaters or
True.
hot dogs. Really good hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they had a pretty decent menu.
Right.
Again, now I haven't been in a long time.
Right.
But I always loved it. I thought it was like ingenious. Like, why would you go sit through a normal theater?
Right.
So yeah, it looks like their admissions have gone up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Though if you go on a Sunday family night, that doesn't look too bad.
Right.
So their standard Friday, Saturday is $7 adult, $4 children, and 10 and under. And then Sunday is $14 per carload.
See, that we could do. We should do that a Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Like, just take everyone.
Right.
Find a minivan.
Right.
Or a bus.
Exactly.
Like, do they count the axles? Like, that is not a car.
Ew. Melissa says that Meta Bridge is open.
Ah.
We should see what's up on that. And I love Brenda pointing out that, yes, you have the freedom in your car.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Yes. So that went up 10 points.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like, you always had that. Like, but yeah, cool. So I'm looking at the Meadow Bridge one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So yeah, they're making some updates to their property.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the sound system in the Soul. Oh, excuse me, the Soul may get a workout.
Yes, I do believe the Soul will get a workout. It's only $7 per person, cash only. Children under 4 get in free. And they have Rave and 3 days ago. Rave and the Last Dragon and Corilla, PG-13.
Oh, very cool.
Very, very cool.
I'm just curious how many there are in West Virginia. Wow. So yeah, there's Meadow Bridge, Pipestem, Sunset Drive-In in Shinston, West Virginia. I have to be careful every time I say that. Craigsville, Franklin. Oh no, that's not one. Hilltop in Chester. Yeah, that's a fair number in West Virginia. West Virginia, we really like ours.
Yeah. Well, and it's because it gives us the freedom.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they always did. I mean, granted, not the thing you want to hear your teenagers are going and doing, because there's other things that can occur. Like, no parent should ever fall for that one.
Right.
But and North Carolina has a few as well. Wow. Because it was North Carolina where I ran into so many people that are like, what's a drive-in movie?
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, well, I just thought there weren't that many in North Carolina.
Right.
But apparently there's like Albemarle, Henderson, Kings Mountain, Eden. Shelby's is temporarily closed. Wake Forest, Lexington, Tabor City, Chapel Hill. How did I miss the one at Chapel Hill? What the heck? Anyway, so yeah, just because I know Ashley, I just dropped that out there.
Right.
So yeah. There's a few.
There is.
Like, it's kind of impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm curious. We'll go ahead and check Virginia. It's the in-between. Yep, Virginia still has a fair number as well, and they're pretty much spread all across the state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good God. Let's see. Haydenville, Stephen City, Alexandria, Lexington, Christiansburg. Ashburn has the Alamo Draft House Cinema Drive-In.
Mm-hmm.
Draft House? Like, I'm sorry, that just sounds like it's encouraging drink and drive. Central Drive-In, Park Place. Oh, sorry, I was going with places. Norton, Marion, Ruckersville, Abingdon, Franklin, Centersville. Looks like Ashburn again.
Mm-hmm.
Midlothian, Bristol, Arlington, Martinsville. Okay, apparently you don't want to go to Manassas, the one there. That's really poorly rated. So yeah. Oh, I may have inadvertently picked up for Martinsville. That's an actual cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Midlothian. My apologies.
Right.
So, yeah. Hey, she knows what. Well, rural areas, though, it's kind of fun. That's like half the fun of it. I will say that. I know that it is like drive you to the middle of nowhere and leave you for dead, but it is worth it. It is worth it. Like, they're a nice experience. And if nothing else, you usually get a nice, relaxing drive there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't go on a rainy night.
Right.
Like, if it starts pouring the rain on the way there, turn around.
Yeah.
No one enjoys the theater. Well, teenage couples enjoy the theater when it rains, but again...
But still, I think it's great that this is coming back because this is a much better, freer experience. Mm-hmm. And looking at the food prices, they're reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, this will be added to the summer list of to-dos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I always loved it. I think the only thing I liked more was we used to have a dollar theater over in Bluefield, West Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you right now, it was reruns of old, of like last year's movies. Mm-hmm. That's how you got the nice discounty price. Mm-hmm. But it really was nice to go into a dollar theater.
Right.
Like it really was. Uh-oh, who do we make mad?
I don't know.
Sorry we made you mad.
Shannon apparently got angry about something.
Oh no. Okay. But yeah, you can totally bring a cooler of snacks. No one cares.
Well, no, but nachos are kind of hard to carry in a cooler.
They are, and they unless you keep them separated,
right?
They're no longer really nachos by the time you get there,
right?
Yeah, Greensboro. Ashley's pointing out has a lot of the hubby knocked the phone. Okay, give us a heart attack.
Yeah,
like do some finger shaking at him.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's cool. We were just like, what happened? We don't get anger. But yeah, apparently Greensboro has plenty of $5 theaters at least pre-COVID. See, I never had that experience. I don't know. I guess I had high-class friends that went to really expensive movies. Like, I always got invited when it was like $20 ticket price. Like, everything my friends did cost $20 or more. Mm-hmm. And I was too broke for that. Oh, yeah, and it's amazing if someone has dietary restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sit there and worry. Although, I will say that never applied to my friend from college, Shannon. I will say I went to a movie with her, And dear God, the number of beers she could hide and a bottle of wine in that coat.
Mm-hmm. Puffy
Dear
coats are great.
God. Like, I swear to God, she went in looking like an Eskimo and she came out looking like a stick with a drape.
Yeah, but no, that's
okay. I was DD.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
But
and yes, that was a major theater, like not drive-in we went to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But there are things that I've been in great debate about if we're going to see the resurgence of, or if it's going to be gone.
I wonder if it'll go in a different direction, like the drive-ins, like where you want more experience and a different experience.
Right.
I think eating out's going to change. Like, I think we're going to stop. Like, after a year, I think a lot of people are probably reevaluating where they eat out. And, like, is this crap worth it?
Well, we have.
Yeah.
We went out to a lovely dinner the other night. That was a lovely experience with the client. And I think I made the comment that was cheap compared to what we've been spending. And I'm really just tired of like McDonald's. Like, go grab me there's food there at McDonald's and Burger King that it's like, yeah, I need a snack, but that's no longer a dinner for us.
Yeah. Well, and that was a really good restaurant. And yeah, it was a little high on our, like, because we used to budget like $15 per person for, sit down dinner. And I know that for most people is probably cheap. But it was where we were at. But we also tended to eat out more often at the $15 level.
Right.
But yeah, I honestly really enjoyed the meal that we had, despite the fact we were paying $25 a person. Like, that's where that was at.
Time, that $25 a person was a lot of food.
Yes, it was. It was really good.
I don't know. I guess that maybe because, normally we use my card and I'm the one that looks at the bill or whatever. I looked at you and said, no, that's about what we normally spend.
Well, yeah, all totaled, I'm sure it is, but we had been trying to budget around like $15.
Yeah.
And that had some creep to it, but like, yeah. Like, you had pointed out, and legitimately, like, we cannot order from a couple of restaurants without spending $50 to $60.
Right.
Like, we can't do it. Like, if it has Chinese or Asian in the name, we cannot order for less than
right. But
$50 to
when we go to McDonald's, we're spending $27 to $28, and then an hour later, I'm looking and go, will you please go get me a sandwich?
Like, bring me chips.
I need a candy bar, even though I shouldn't have it.
Yes.
So, I think that the experience is going to become a new thing. Like, that's something restaurants are going to have to step it up to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, now I don't know. I will say I had an ex that kind of wore me out on all you can eats. It's not that I hate them pre-COVID. It's not that I hated them. It was just, I can only do them so much, especially Golden Corral. And I know they are prolific in North Carolina. My God, you cannot throw a rock without hitting a Golden Corral. You cannot.
That's not my favorite. My favorite is Country Kitchen. Much better than a Golden Corral.
I don't know. Are they even still in business?
I don't know. That shows you how much I go to them.
Because I remember them. I'm just curious. Parkersburg, White Sulphur, Christiansburg. Okay, there's still a few.
Yeah.
I think they had a bit of a contraction, though. Like,
well, I think all you can eat have had a bit of contraction. So apparently, talking about McDonald's, the McDonald's employees are supposed to be on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I have seen signs for them raising the pay rate to $10 an hour.
Yeah. And honestly, that's a that is a minimum amount of raise. Like, that is seriously more than reasonable.
Right.
Oh, apparently Ashley loved the old country buffet.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever been to one. I've been to a country kitchen like once or twice.
Right.
Oh, wow. So Ashley's seen something about them getting a raise to $18 an hour across the states.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, or at least a plan for it. I mean,
yeah.
I think they're going to have to do something because people are like, no, we ain't doing this. We can just work from home. And I want to give a shout out to a book. It's called Work From Anywhere as You Roam. It's a lovely book. It has a lot of jobs in it, a lot of work from home jobs in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised with some of the pay rates in there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you get paid to do like tags and pictures.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There was a thing about the corporate McDonald's were going to be getting raises.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only, I believe, a small percentage of totals.
Right.
As in the total number of locations.
Right.
Like it's kind of it sounds great, but that's just for corporate, and corporate is like boop of the total number.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
Now Ashley, I will say, because she points out, I don't know how I feel about entry jobs paying so well. It's good, but it's bad. I don't know. Here's my thing. And I kind of we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday. Is again, we conflate a lot of the entry level employment with, jobs for kids. Like, these aren't careers. Get a real job. In air quotes. Okay, well, tell me who's supposed to be fixing your lunch 9 months out of the year. Because kids are in school. Like, that's where the teenagers are. They're in the classes. They do that thing called school for many decades. It takes a while.
All right.
So that's my thing there. Also, we're at a point in which if minimum wage had kept pace with inflation, we would already be at $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's truly where we are in terms of cost of living.
Right.
Is that the current standard for poverty for a single individual is around $12,000. How?
Mm-hmm.
Is what I want to know, is how can you afford to be anywhere for $1,000 a month?
All right.
Which, side note, is also about where disability is. Actually, not even. Like, that's an insanely small amount of money to try to exist on. And quite frankly, most people can't. Like, you can't.
Right.
Because we're not just talking about a bunch of 20-year-olds with quote-unquote entry-level jobs. In many cases, while these are called entry-level jobs, in a lot of situations, this is employment for everyone from like 15 to 85 and beyond.
Right.
They just are.
Mm-hmm. Well, the average pay around the world is $13 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Around the world. I mean, that's going from like, that's averaging in us, that's averaging in like the Netherlands, that minimum pay is the equate to $15 US an hour.
Yeah. Like, no, like, I get the point
Mm-hmm.
of the idea that is a doubling. It is a doubling
Mm-hmm.
of what current minimum wage is. But when you also go look at the trend line for everything else,
Mm-hmm.
everything else doubled
Mm-hmm.
in the interceding like almost 2 decades.
All right.
Like, hi, don't you wish you had those early 2000 gas prices? Don't you wish?
Actually, no, I don't want those 2000 gas prices, because those 2000 gas prices were almost $4.
No, that was not early. Well, okay, that was like 2005.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about like early 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's see, last change to minimum wage. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 02. Oh no, I'm very wrong. It was 09. 09. Was the last step of a 3-step increase approved by Congress in 2007. I don't know why I keep thinking it was 02. I don't know.
But let's look at milk prices. In 02.
Mm-hmm.
Price of milk was $2.89 a gallon. Now you take that to 2021. It's 55 cents higher.
Well, just to point out, though, in 2002, gas was $1.36.
Yep.
Just pointing out.
Mm-hmm. I remember rent was about $3.50. That's for big cities. So yeah, we never raised. Everything else raised except the pay wage.
Mm-hmm.
But also, employers are employers are saying that no, we're not going to work for penance. We're at 308 right now for gas.
Mm-hmm.
Before discounts and all these savings and this, that, and another.
Okay, Ashley wants us to take her back. So, here's the Billboard top 3 for 2002 is How You Remind Me by Nickelback, Foolish by Shanti, and Hot in Here by Nelly. We will take you back.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I like that song. I actually make good money off of Hot in Here.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll take you back. We'll take you back.
All right, guys. Well, it's going to be a busy weekend. We have Power Saturday. Of course, that's when my readings are on discount for $20 for a 15-minute session. I'm going to be changing it up next month, though. There'll be some new things you can do on Power Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we're going to be working on some other things. We'll be continuing to build the Nexus. And we will, hopefully by Monday, get back into giving you guys your daily predictions and your daily videos, but they will be streamed to one video service. So, baristas, tell me where you like to see them at. Do you like them over at YouTube? Do you like them on your Facebook? Where do you see me at?
Absolutely.
Listeners, please do the YouTube-y things, like down at the bottom, Comment down in the bottom what you'd like to hear us talk about, or if you enjoyed the show. Always subscribe. And of course, our favorite part of the show, barista time.
Yes. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gist, Shannon C, and Shannon D. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a barista and supporting the show, or just more about us and the show, please visit pcspnetwork.com.
Y'all guys have a great evening, great weekend. Wash your hands, wear your mask if you need to, and get out and enjoy your Memorial weekend. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the